Hello students, welcome to the session. So in previous class I told you about the autotrophic nutrition. In today's class I will tell you about the heterotrophic nutrition, how do organisms obtain their nutrition, how amoeba taken up the nutrition and fulfill their requirement. Also very important for the exam point of view, the nutrition in human beings. So students, let's begin the topic. Heterotrophic nutrition is the type of nutrition in which organism depend upon the other organism for food to survive. Heterotrophic organism have to take in all the substances they need to survive. So this type of a nutrition is known as heterotrophic nutrition. So, and one more example, that is fungi. Fungi is an example of saprophytic nutrition. Saprophytic nutrition is a nutrition in which organism depend on the organism feed on the dead and decaying matter. So this is an example of fungi like bread mold. Also the next one is the parasitic nutrition. Parasitic nutrition is the nutrition in which organism actually feed on the other organism, other live organism for their nutrition requirement to fulfill, like cuscuta, amarbale, orchis, ticks and many other. So students, how do organism obtain their nutrition? Actually there are different type of organism obtain their nutrition in a different way, like in single cell structure, that is for example amoeba, the food may be taken up by the entire surface, but as the complexity of the organism increases, different parts of the specialized to perform the different function. For example, in human beings there are different parts of the alimentary canal is used for the different function. So and whenever the complexity increases, the different parts become specialized to perform the different function. So in single cell amoeba, for example, in amoeba, that amoeba takes in food using temporary finger-like extension, and this finger-like extension is known as pseudopodia. Now, which fuse over the food particle, forming a food vacuole. Whenever amoeba senses the food particle, it actually the pseudopodia actually cover up the food material, and this food material absorbed by the amoeba inside the food vacuole, and now this food vacuole breaks the complex substances into a simpler one, which then diffuses into the cytoplasm. Now the remaining undigested material is moved to the surface of the cell and thrown out from the body. So this type of a nutrition, actually it is an example of holozoic nutrition also. Students, I told you about what is holozoic nutrition. So why this is an example of holozoic nutrition? Because it involves the ingestion, digestion and egestion of the food material. So, but amoeba does not have a specialized organ for nutrition. Its entire process is carried through the body surface with the help of pseudopodia. So move on to the next. Also one more example here is paramecium. Paramecium has a specialized structure, that is cilia, that helps in the movement to spot the food, and also whenever it spots the food, the entire surface actually absorbs the food material and digests it accordingly. So paramecium, which is a unicellular organism, the cell has a definite shape and food is taken in at a specific spot. Food is moved to this spot by the movement of cilia, which covers the entire surface of the cell. So with the help of with the help of cilia, it actually moves and spots the food. Now very important for this in this chapter, the nutrition in human beings. Nutrition is in human beings actually depends on the alimentary canal. I hope you know that I hope you studied in class 7 also, that what is alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is basically a long tube extended from mouth to the anus. So various region of this alimentary canal to perform a different function. How? We will study in this session. What happens to the food? It enters our body. Whenever food is entered into our body, this process is known as ingestion. So, ingestion, ingestion, ingestion. And whenever the food is the waste material goes out from our body, that is known as egestion, EGSTION. So we eat so there is one activity 6.3. I think we should discuss it also. Take 1 ml starch solution 1% in test tube A and B. Add 1 ml saliva. Actually this saliva has a function, I hope you know, but if you don't know then please listen carefully. This saliva is released by the salivary glands, and this saliva breaks the starch into a simple sugar. So add 1 ml of saliva to test tube A and leave both the test tube undisturbed for 20 to 30 minutes. So now add a few drops of iodine solution to the test tube. In which test tube do you observe a color change? Students, please think. Yes, so you can see that the test tube A is as it is, but in test tube B the color of the solution changes into blue black color. Why? Because in test tube A saliva breaks down the starch into a simple sugar. So because it acts as a enzyme, so the color does not changes, but and iodine solution gives the blue black color to starch, and starch is present only inside the test tube B, not in A, because in A test tube the saliva breaks down the starch into simple sugar, so color changes only in the test tube B, not in A. So move on to the next. We eat various types of food which has to pass through the same digestive tract. Naturally the food has to process to generate particles which are small and which of the small texture. This is achieved by crushing of food. Teeth are the very important part to convert the complex food material into a simpler ones, and also the crushing of food with our teeth. Since the lining of the canal is very soft, the food is wetted to make its passage smooth. When we eat something, we like our mouth waters. What is it that? Whenever we eat something, our mouth become watery. Why it is so? Because this watery part is known as saliva, that is secreted by the salivary glands. Very important. Another aspect of the food we ingest in its complex nature. If it is to be absorbed from the alimentary canal, it has to be broken into smaller molecule. Whenever this food have to go into a alimentary canal, this complex food material should be crushed into a smaller ones. So this is done with the help of biological catalyst and called as enzymes. What are biological catalysts, students? Yes, biological catalysts are the enzymes that are found in the biological system. So whatever enzyme found inside the biological system, they are known as biological catalyst, and they increases the rate of reaction. The saliva contain an enzyme that is known as salivary amylase that breaks down the starch, which is a complex molecule, to give a simple sugar, that is a simpler molecule. So this is a human alimentary canal. This is a mouth, which is also known as buccal cavity, the tongue that helps in the movement of food, esophagus which help in the passing the food from mouth to stomach with the help of peristaltic movement. The stomach the stomach is J-shaped stomach, which releases mucus, hydrochloric acid, and also the pepsin. Here, then this stomach opens into small intestine, and small intestine has a this small intestine also releases various type of intestinal juices, and also a connection with the liver and pancreas. Pancreas releases pancreatic juice, and liver store, actually liver has a gallbladder which store bile, and bile help in the breakdown of fats. After this, small intestine opens into a large intestine, and large intestine open into a rectum, and rectum open into a anus. So the lining of canal has muscle that contract rhythmically in order to push the food forward. So this movement is known as peristaltic movement. This peristaltic movement is usually to push the food from esophagus to stomach along the gut. From the mouth, the food is taken to the stomach through the food pipe or esophagus. The stomach is a large organ which expands when food enters it. The muscle wall of the stomach help in mixing the food with the digestive juices. So this muscular wall of stomach releases hydrochloric acid, protein digesting enzyme called pepsin, and mucus. Very important. So this pepsin actually break down the protein. This mucus actually prevent our stomach from this highly acidic medium. The hydrochloric acid creates acidic medium which facilitate the action of enzyme pepsin. Also, this hydrochloric facilitate the action of enzyme pepsin, and this pepsin actually break down the complex protein into simpler ones. So the mucus protect the inner lining of the stomach from the action of acid, and this acid is very much acidic, like it has a pH near about 1.5 to 3. We have often heard adults complaining about the acidity or heartburn. Have you ever seen? Have you ever observed? Actually, this heartburn is the acid indigestion. Whenever sometime the acidic goes back into a esophagus, this acidity happens or heartburn happens. So the exit of food from stomach is regulated by sphincter muscles, which releases it in small amount into a small intestine. So this stomach opens into a small intestine. So students, small intestine is a longest part of the alimentary canal, near about 7.5 meter in length. Herbivore eating grass need a longer small intestine. It is actually, this small intestine is different in the size of the small intestine is different in different organism. Like in herbivores, small intestine is longer to allow cellulose to be digested, but in carnivores they have a shorter small intestine because meat is easier to digest. The small intestine is the site of the complete digestion. Actually, small intestine has a major two function, that one is digestion and second one is absorption. So the small intestine is the site of complete digestion of carbohydrate, proteins and fats. The complex carbohydrate is changes into a simpler ones, complex proteins is changes into a simpler ones, and fat also changes into a simpler one, and then this simpler substances absorbed by the small intestine and goes into the various parts of our body. The food coming from the stomach is acidic and has to be made alkaline. So I told you about that the small intestine have the enzyme which is released by liver and pancreas. So pancreas releases pancreatic enzyme. So this enzyme actually makes the acidic food alkaline. Now, the bile juice from the liver also acts on the fat. The bile is stored in the gallbladder. So, fat are present in the intestine in the form of large globules, which makes it difficult for enzyme to act on them. So, what bile do? Bile salt break down these large globules into a smaller globules, and increasing the efficiency of enzyme action, like in emulsification action of soap or dirt. So what is emulsification, students? Emulsification is a process in which if two liquids of different thickness is there, then we can say that it is emulsify or are emulsified. They combine to form a smooth mixture. So likewise you can see that the fat has a different type of texture, and the liquid present in our body is different type of texture. So the emulsification of fat occur with the help of bile. This bile actually equalize the thickness of two liquid having different texture, having different thickness. So actually bile has a very important role in our body. The pancreas secrete pancreatic juice, which contains enzyme like trypsin for digesting proteins and lipase. Pancreas secrete pancreatic juice which contains enzyme like trypsin for digesting protein and lipase for breakdown emulsified fat. This lipase actually break down the emulsified fat into simpler one. The wall of the small intestine contain glands which secrete intestinal juice. I told you that small intestine has also its own intestinal juices which actually help them to digest the food particles. The enzyme present in it finally convert the protein to amino acid. The final product will be the protein into amino acid, complex carbohydrate into glucose, and fat into fatty acids and glycerol. Very important. These enzymes actually break down the protein into amino acid, complex carbohydrate into glucose, and fat into fatty acids and glycerol. So these are the simpler form of food, and these amino acid, glucose, fatty acids and glycerol are then absorbed by the blood vessels and goes into the various parts of our body. The digested food is taken up by the wall of the intestine. Now the absorption parts starts. The inner lining of the small intestine has a finger-like projection. Very important. The inner lining of the small intestine, students, have a finger-like projection which is called as villi. Villi actually increases the surface area for absorption and easily absorb the food material, food particle. The villi actually are richly supplied with the blood vessels which take the absorbed food to each and every cell of the body to obtain energy, building up new tissues and the repair of old tissues. Now this actually whatever the food is not digested or the unabsorbed food is now sent into a large intestine to absorb the various minerals and water part from the unabsorbed food. Now rest of the material is removed from the body via anus. So that is it. This is the part of digestion and absorption. So there is one more thing, that is dental caries. Dental caries actually the growing up of bacteria inside our mouth. Whenever we actually there is an dental carie or the tooth decay causes gradual softening of the enamel and dentine. It actually, whenever the bacteria acting on sugar produces acids, and it actually soften the enamel of our tooth. The masses of bacterial cell together with food particles stick to the teeth to form dental plaque, and saliva cannot reach the tooth surface to neutralize the acid. So the brushing of teeth should be done after eating, removes the plaques before the bacteria produces acid. So dental caries actually is a type of caries in which the enamel is softened. Why? Because in food there are many type of in our mouth there are many type of bacteria which act on the sugar and produces acid, and this acid actually destroy our enamel and causes the dental caries. If untreated, microorganism may invade the pulp, causes the inflammation and infection, and it can also lead to the loss of tooth. So that is it for the today's session. Students, I hope it must be clear to all of you. Please go through that, and if you have any question you can ask me anytime. Please go through the whole part because it is very important for the exam point of view. Definitely the question will come in your exam from this part. Thank you so much.